Today I would like to talk about the second key aspect you need to understand and get right to make your job search abroad a success. And that concerns the importance of your job application documents and especially the one of your CV. Now, I am aware that in some countries this type of document is referred to as a resume, in the US, in Canada and some other countries there. But I believe in most other countries across the world, people tend to use the British term CV when they use the English term, of course. And this is the reason why I will just stick to this term from now on here as well. So when I say CV, of course, I always mean CV or resume. It is usually a good idea to also include a meaningful cover letter in your job application, but to keep the length of this podcast episode at bay, I'm not going to go into details about how to create such a good cover letter here. I will maybe do this at a later stage in a separate episode. For this, I will just stick to why the CV is so important and what a good CV should consist of. Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm Michael Kaiser. I work as an international career coach and I help managers and specialists get the job they want with a new employer abroad. Now, why is the CV such an important document? There's a very good reason, and that has to do with the fact that when the first decision is made, you are not going to be there yet, because it's the preliminary decisions that are there to decide on if they want to invite you for a job interview or not. So at this stage, it's only the CV and maybe your cover letter that is going to present you, and that has to present you in a way so convincingly that the decision is in your favor and you get invited for a job interview or further communication. But at this stage, it's just the CV, and that's the reason it has to be so good in order to achieve exactly that. Now, how do you create such a good document? There are three main elements you need to pay attention to create a document that is truly persuasive. The first one is the document needs to be written with focus. I talked about the importance for your job search in my last podcast episode, and with this kind of focus, you will know exactly what to put in this document and what you should better leave out, and thus only presenting document that the other side is interested in and actually wants to read and wants to learn about. The second aspect is most people make the big mistake of talking about their previous activities only. But this is exactly what the hiring companies care rather little about. They care about learning what the outcome was. So they are interested in learning about your accomplishments, your successes, positive results, achievements, whatever you want to call it. This is what they want to hear, because they will assume that because you did something that is relevant to the job that you are applying for, you were successful with it. And because you were successful with something that is related, it is likely that you're going to be successful with it working for them as well. So that's the psychology here. So do not just present an explanation of what you did. Focus your presentation on the outcomes you managed to achieve. And this is what the other side really cares about. And all of that, and this is the third aspect, needs to be presented, so structured, organized, formatted, and so on, in a way that it gets the message across within seconds only. Because nowadays companies are flooded with bad applications, so they only take a few seconds to make the first decision if they want to consider a particular application further or not. So you need to survive that first decision. If you survive it, if it's a positive decision in your favor, then they will be willing to spend more time with it at a later stage. They may then also invite you for a job interview. But for all of that, first, you need to survive the first decisions, and you need to keep in mind that they are not going to spend much time until they make it. And I usually say 60 seconds maximum, and this is the time your CV has to convince them of you being a candidate that is a top candidate and should be invited for a job interview. So these 3 elements: a focus document that is really presenting interesting information, focusing on your accomplishments, and all of that organized in a way that this can be seen within seconds. That's the way, in a nutshell, you need to do when you create your CV. Now, if this sounds a bit tricky to you, no problem, because in order to help you further, I have created an email course that guides you through the whole process step by step in easy, manageable steps, and helps you achieve exactly that without you having to figure out what to do first and how to do all the details. It's all explained in the course. If you're interested in this kind of help, then I will link to the page with further descriptions of the content and how it works in the description of this podcast episode. Or if you would like to get my personal help, no problem, because this is what I, as an international career coach, do all day. And in this case, just go to my website as well, and you will find a button there that you can click on, and it will guide you through a few steps that will lead you to a free orientation session with me, where we analyze your current situation, develop the right strategy, and I will also let you know how I can help you best as a coach on that journey. Don't think much about it. Just go on the website, click on the button, and let me help you, guide you through the very first steps already. If you haven't done so, then please subscribe to this channel, activate the bell, leave me a like. That will also help the algorithm promote the channel further. And do use the commenting functionality to let me know about the topics you are particularly interested in for future episodes, because then I know what I should actually speak about. As always, I would like to wish you the very best of luck for your job search abroad, and I'll be back here with my next tips in a week.